Alrighty, it is 11:01. Let's go ahead and kick off our AI and hiring training on June 13th, 2024. And so this is presented in partnership with CareerBuilder.com and Morning Consult. So I wouldn't be a trainer if I didn't set the expectations and the agenda for today. So let's go ahead and go over what we're going to cover in the next 30 minutes. So quick and easy 30-minute training. We know that time is one of the most valuable things we have on this earth. So we want to get you excited about AI, hiring trends, and not take too much time out of your day. We're going to go ahead and kick off the call with introductions. We're going to introduce ourselves to you so you know who we are. Before I start monologuing like a James Bond villain over here, I want to earn the right to do that with you. I'm going to, of course, introduce the fantastic Kristen. We're going to also then really dive into today's presentation, AI trends. We're hearing this word AI every time you open a laptop, open a newspaper, talk to any business. AI is top of mind for everybody. There's been lots of acquisitions when it comes to AI. AI is now being added into products like Apple, Microsoft, Google. If it's a large, they just had a huge presentation on it and getting lots of customers excited about what AI can do at Apple. We're going to talk about what we can do within hiring. We'll then wrap up and talk about what you can expect to see as a follow-up and a thank you for attending. All right, perfect. So let's go ahead and introduce ourselves as presenter. Kristen, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to you. I'll then introduce myself, and then we'll jump into today's presentation.
Sounds good. Super excited to be here. Kristen Kelly, Chief Revenue and Marketing Officer here at CareerBuilder. Spent my past growing up in the talent acquisition space as CMO of a lot of different staffing organizations, but super excited to be part of CB and be with all you guys today. So I will pass it over to you, Jeff.
Perfect. All right. I'm Jeff Dearman. As you can tell, I'm well caffeinated, excited, and really excited to be in front of all of you today. So I'm Jeff Dearman. I'm our senior training facilitator, aka the head of training at CareerBuilder.com. So I do our new hire and onboarding training. I've been here for 10 and a half years. So I'm a bit of a CB dinosaur around here. I also host, shameless plug for webinars, 6 live weekly trainings. So if you're a current customer and you want to get the most out of your products, you can meet with me every single week. We have morning and afternoon sessions for all of our trainings. And I also assist with our sales training. So I stay well caffeinated, excited, and use a lot. I get asked, how do you speak so much and not lose your voice? A lot of honey, a lot of tea. And I just love doing it. So before we go ahead and open up a poll to everybody, because we're going to go ahead and kind of ask a question to the class together. Kristen, I had a quick question for you. So we hear about AI this, AI that. But how do you feel about the future of AI in hiring? Are you cautiously optimistic? Are you excited? Maybe a little bit nervous? What do you think?
I think the latter is probably how I feel. I'm very excited about it. I think it is here to stay. I think it has its place for sure in the recruiting process, but also nervous. It's something that we're not all familiar with. We don't really know where it's going yet. So I would say it's a combination of excited yet nervous.
Absolutely. It's good to be, it's good to question things when they're new. All right,
Agreed.
perfect. So
Agreed.
let's see how the audience is feeling. So I have a quick poll question for everybody. So let me go ahead and launch this. So a question for everybody to answer. From the choices below, what is your current sentiment on AI in hiring? AI in hiring is a mainstay. It's here to stay. AI is relatively new technology and fraught with concerns. Candidates and hiring teams have different views about AI, or AI is poised to transform teams and roles. Next time, I'm going to have some Jeopardy music, maybe some Price is Right music, but we're getting lots. All right, so 45% of folks have answered so far, and it's a nice even split. So let's just give this a few more seconds. All right, we got about 77%. Yeah, I wish you could see. I'm going to go ahead and publish these results in just a second. So we're about 79% of folks have answered so far. Let's give it maybe just 30 more seconds. All right, so we're about 80%. So let me go ahead and end the poll, and let me share those results. See, as we can see, the number one, I believe it's tied. So what we're seeing is AI in hiring is a mainstay and here to stay with 26%. Actually, the leader is AI is poised to transform teams and roles. So it's funny that we ask you those questions because the answer is it's all of those. The sentiment that you're feeling is exactly what we're going to be diving into during today's training. All right, so let's go ahead. And apologies if you hear some leaf blowers in the background. This happens a lot when I'm doing trainings. It's like they know my schedule. They're like, let's do that right in front of Jeff's window. All right, perfect. So thanks everybody for playing along. Let's go ahead and dive in and start talking about the challenge. So just some quick background around this study. It was conducted with our partners at Morning Consult with a sample size of 400 recruiting professionals. Survey respondents represented a various company sizes and industries, also a range of job titles and experience levels. But for this study, most of the data we saw were from mid to senior level. And I know we hear AI, we think of like worst case scenarios in movies and TV shows and music. But for today, we're going to keep it lighthearted. We're going to keep it within the realm of AI and hiring. So we already know, like we talked about this at the top of the call, AI is dominating business headlines. But here are some recent numbers to put into perspective just how much AI is poised to transform ways of doing business across all industries. So here's four stats that really pop out at me. AI is expected to become a $407 billion with a B industry by 2027, boosting the US GDP by an estimated 21% by 2030. 64% of business owners believe that AI will increase productivity. One in four companies are adopting AI because of labor shortages. 50% of the global workforce could be impacted by AI advancements. So this is still new territory. So let's talk about the challenge. Leveraging AI to stay competitive and efficient while retaining the human touch. That's the part we're going to keep talking about. AI is only as good as the humans that are inputting the data. Never lose sight of the human touch that makes it so great. Critical to optimize the candidate experience, making informed decisions, and building solid teams. So it's no longer a question of whether AI will transform your hiring process, but how quickly. So as AI revolutionizes the recruitment lifecycle, HR leaders must stay informed about AI's advantages, best practices, and shortcomings. So this is still new territory. There's a lot of potential landmines to avoid, like ethical and data and privacy concerns. We've conducted this research to empower recruiting professionals, just like everybody who's joined, to navigate this landscape confidently, stay competitive. So let's dive into the insights and discover what AI in hiring can mean for you. All right, I'm going to feel like a game show host. I'm going to pass it over to you, Kristen. What is our first trend of the day? We have four main trends we're going to go through today.
Sure. So, trend one, as the headline says here, AI and hiring is mainstream and it is certainly here to stay. But what our survey really told us is 47% of people, so a little over half of people asked, are currently using AI in the recruiting process, which means 50% of companies still have the opportunity to do that. Also, to say 72% are familiar with AI, just maybe haven't kind of dipped their toes in the water. So, definitely room for improvement. But what this says for me is that it is a trend. That trend will continue to grow. And I certainly think that 47% will continue to increase.
Absolutely. It's going to keep going up and up to the right. So let's dive in a little bit deeper. So, hiring managers are familiar with the use of AI in recruiting and confident in its effectiveness. However, despite most 61% saying they've received at least some training in AI, 86% felt more education and training was needed. That's why we had such a groundswell and so many folks wanting to join this webinar that you're on right here. So most hiring decision makers are sold on the benefits, its ability to improve the process, but just because a good portion, 76%, are aware of or interested or actively using AI doesn't mean that they feel confident about it. So in fact, the vast majority, 86%, feel more training, more education is needed. And so that's what we're hoping that we could provide to you today, some insights and some solutions for you. So what are the top 10 applications in recruiting when it comes to using AI right now? So let's look at how recruiting professionals are using this day to day. You can see that the most common uses, with over 50% of respondents saying they're using this for screening candidates and scheduling interviews, which I think we can all admit, me being in the training world, we have lots of recruiters here as well. It's very time consuming. It's manual tasks that can be easily streamlined with AI. Interestingly, half use AI for employee onboarding. So this can include things like using chatbots to answer new employee questions or monitoring compliance or mandatory training. Sourcing candidates is another big use case. A sizable number of companies use it not only to screen candidates, but to do screening interviews or to rank them as well. We'll talk about what that might do for potential folks applying to your company a little bit later in the call. And we'll get into some potential implications of these practices in a bit. But the bottom line is, if we're not actively using AI in some capacity, we run the risk of falling behind. So 53% are using this for screening candidates right now, 52% analyzing resumes and applications, 48% sourcing candidates, 41% of respondents said pre-employment assessments, 39% storing applicant information, 53% scheduling interviews. That can be very time consuming. We know here it's so hard to find that one perfect time for everybody to meet. 50% new employee onboarding, 47% chatbots for candidates, 41% pre-screening interviews, and 37% ranking or rejecting candidates. So we want to make sure we're using this so we don't fall behind. All right, Kristen, what is our second trend of the day?
So trend number two is that because AI is so new, and it's relatively something that we're all just kind of dipping our toes in the water again, it is fraught with concerns. And there's a lot of things that people think about when they're kind of stepping into the world of AI. So, human touch comes to mind, and people are worried this will replace human touch. We'll get into that in a little bit in terms of how recruiters feel that this will interfere with the jobs that they do today. Quality and data integrity is something that people certainly worry about when it comes to AI. That would be our second top concern that we found in the survey. And then what I found really interesting is a little under 100%, 92% of people really feel like ethical considerations are something that's top of mind for them. And that's a space that people want to be very careful in. It's a space that people don't know necessarily everything that they need to. So this is very, very top of mind for folks, especially those who took our survey here. So, to me, bottom line is, companies that don't have formal policies in place or haven't started thinking about these policies, it's certainly time to do that. It's certainly time to work with your HR departments to make sure, we're starting to stand those policies up. And we're always here, Jeff and I, to help answer any questions that you guys might have in terms of what CareerBuilder's doing around these topics. So I'll
Absolutely.
hand it back to you.
Perfect. Yeah, when things are new, let's not be nervous. Let's get in front of it. Let's understand it. Let's help other people understand it. That's what I love doing in the world of training. All right, so let's dive a little deeper. So we are here because we want to be the experts and help you to leverage AI responsibly in the hiring process. So how can you ensure that you're leveraging AI responsibly? For one thing, start to think about developing formal policies now so the whole team is on the same page and has guidelines to reference. This isn't something you want to play catch up with. This can help you stay true to your company's values while evolving your hiring practices and improving the candidate experience. It's also very important. When I hear the word transparent, I pay attention to it. It's important to be transparent about how AI is used in the hiring process, especially if you're using AI to rate or evaluate candidates. Folks would want to know that. So, through methods like video analysis, you'll want to be mindful of how AI impacts inclusivity during the hiring process. Many HR professionals, like the one quoted here, in our survey, are intentional about programming their bots with positive reinforcement toward things like diversity and inclusion. So if you're using CareerBuilder's platform, one of the things we do great is we have the opportunities to promote your commitment to DE&I, which helps enhance the candidate's experience. As well as, for example, you could choose to sponsor an ad during Women's History Month, linking to an employee profile, or highlighting your company's support of veterans on a particular job posting. So we want to be transparent. We want to inform the candidates about AI in the hiring process, especially for using that video analysis, how it's going to evaluate them. And we want to make sure that it's fair and inclusive. AI's effectiveness relies on data and algorithm quality. So be mindful of potential biases in your data sets, such as voice recognition programs struggling with native accents or resume scanners showing bias towards mothers returning to work. So I love this respondent right here. We program our bots with positive reinforcement towards diversity and inclusion. All right, so let's dive into our next slide. So a few other best practices, including taking the proper steps to make sure, candidate and personal information is safe and secure when using AI. I remember when GDPR was going out, a lot of customers, how will this impact us? How is, CareerBuilder evolving? We're evolving with all of these different strategies throughout the year. And asking for feedback so you can continue to strike that balance between automating certain tasks using AI and ensuring a positive candidate experience. When in doubt, and this is a big thing, I know we're nervous about AI, but just remember, AI cannot replace humans. It's always good to ensure there is a human oversight in the process. You'll find ways to incorporate that human touch throughout the experience. So one of the things we pride ourselves is our product suite. It's actionable. We have analytics, we have reporting, and we can help you optimize that strategy. So safeguarding the candidate data and privacy. So AI's capacity to handle vast amounts of personal data raises privacy issues. So organizations should limit data collection to essentials employ encryption for protection, and conduct regular system audits to ensure security compliance. Ask for feedback. Feedback from candidates can only help your team fine tune the candidate experience. We do the same thing for new hire training. We want to learn, we want to get better, we want to meet with our leaders, and we want to apply that. So since AI is continuously learning, this data can help the technology improve over time. Remember, key takeaway, if there's one major thing you take away from this, AI can't replace humans. It's going to enhance the discovery and sorting, but it can't replace the team's ability to understand the people behind the resumes. So another quote over here, we have human moderators that go over the data to ensure little to no bias is present. All right, so we're zooming through this. So Kristen, what is our third trend of the day?
So I love this one because I love a good kind of two-sided viewpoint. But trend number 3 is that hiring teams and hiring managers really do feel that AI benefits the candidate and the candidate experience, and that they are open and receptive to this technology. So a lot of dials here showing about a middle of the road point of view, but 58% believe candidates are receptive to AI in the hiring process. 52% say it helps connect candidates to roles that are fit for them, and 50% feels it speeds up the recruitment process for the candidate, again, making it a better experience. And I know you're going to go into the contrary to this and how candidates are actually feeling about the
Oh yeah,
technology.
because how job posters feel about AI might be different than what
Exactly.
job seekers are seeing. So I always want to see the flip side of that coin. And here we're all about efficiency. Like if we can help to speed things up, give time back in your day to not do as many of those menial tasks, but like the exciting stuff, like actually hiring and interviewing and onboarding people, that's where the fun begins. So in addition to the information and research we did with Morning Consult, we also wanted to pull in a study with the Pew Research Center revealed that most job seekers don't want AI being used to make hiring decisions, mostly because it lacks, what's that buzzword of the day? That human factor. So other research shows that, candidates are a little bit skeptical. So companies are like, yeah, AI, let's do this. Candidates are like, oh, I don't know about this. So skeptical about AI being used as a decision-making tool. So let's dive into these stats. 68% of job seekers would not want to apply for a job where AI is being used to make decisions. 44% of respondents say that it's because it lacks the human factor. I don't want to be a line on a spreadsheet or just a dot. I'm Jeff Dearman. I'm an actual person. So it's just insightful to get some additional information. So we might be excited. Other folks might be wary of it. But where's that middle ground? So, however, candidates are increasingly, so this is the part that's it's kind of funny to me. They're nervous about it being used in the decision-making process, but I'll use AI to make a resume or a cover letter. So, however, candidates are increasingly using AI in the application process. So they're receptive to AI when it comes to streamlining the job process. A recent study showed that half are already using it to generate resumes, cover letters. Some employers frown upon these practices, while others believe candidates' use of AI tools are actually a strength in today's world. So, regardless of some of the different views that we're seeing, one thing both sides agree on is the need to retain the human element in hiring. No one wants to be hired by a chatbot. Welcome to CareerBuilder. We don't want to do that. So, think of CareerBuilder as that solution that can connect the candidates, finding different ways to do that, gaining efficiencies with our built-in AI technology that we are leveraging right now. So if you're nervous about AI, if you haven't dipped your toes in the water, we can help you to do that and have the ability to promote authentic human connections throughout offerings like virtual hiring events. So we're seeing right now, how are candidates using AI right now? According to a work life survey of 3,500 job hunters, 50% are using generative AI to help with resumes and cover letters. 44% are using AI for writing assessments. I wish that had been available in college. 31% will let AI write their bio on hiring platforms. So, bottom line, it remains essential to retain the human element when it comes to recruiting. All right, so both sides agree that the biggest problem with AI is that it lacks the human factor. I think this quote really sums it up perfectly when it comes to how folks are feeling about it. So AI can't factor in the unquantifiable intangibles that make someone a good coworker or a bad coworker. Personality traits like patience, compassion, kindness would be overlooked or undervalued. So it's important to remember that AI is it's not great at measuring the intangibles of what makes someone a great hire or a coworker or those different temperaments or different things like work ethic. So Bottom line is AI should assist in shortlisting, not assessing vital soft skills or the overall fit. So continue to trust your instincts, trust that gut feeling, and evaluate candidates holistically when making that final decision. All right, speaking of final, let's talk about our final trend of the day.
Trend number four is how is AI going to really impact teams and roles in the recruiting space? And while most don't think AI will replace their jobs entirely, it's definitely going to force specialization. So you can see here, 56% of those asked will become more specialized as a result of AI in the recruiting field. Recruiters feel that AI will make their jobs completely go away. Only 12% felt that, and almost a similar amount felt that the roles wouldn't change at all. So I think really the takeaway here is people will continue to have jobs. AI will only force those jobs to maybe look and feel slightly different and certainly more focused and specialized.
Absolutely. And I don't mind specialization. I don't want to be a jack of all trades. I want to be the master of that one thing I do really great. And that's why I love thriving in the world of training. So let's dive a little bit deeper. All right, so let's look into our crystal ball. I wish I had this, especially for last week's lottery numbers. So, hiring professionals are sharing their predictions. So, survey respondents share the future of AI trends they believe will shape the industries. So, number one, AI will help identify candidates easier and help find job seekers quicker before they're even potentially looking for a job. I know Domino's right now is actually working on AI. I think they already know when I want pizza based on how many push notifications I get, but they're actually looking. I want to predict when you want a pizza. They're going to predict, finding you that job before you're even looking for it. Ethical considerations around transparency and AI usage will likely become more crucial as regulations and standards evolve over time within the industry. Number three, AI will become better suited for each individual industry, like we're talking about that specialization. And then number four, resumes and applications will be tailored for AI in the coming years, and more standard formats will be used. I talked to my wife; she's a recruiter for a company in Atlanta, an amazing coffee shop. She talked about the fact that job seekers now are using AI to write cover letters and resumes for specific jobs with the keywords, with the skills to make it easier for recruiters to find them. So bottom line is companies have an opportunity to rethink areas and tasks where team members can deliver the most impact. All right, so let's go ahead and recap some of our key trends and talk about how CareerBuilder can help. So these are the four that we went through based on our survey with Morning Consult and CareerBuilder.com. So number one, our first trend was AI technology it's mainstream, and it is here to stay. We saw that this was tied for the number one response we saw from everybody here today. So a sizable number of professionals surveyed actively using AI in hiring, and this is the number that will grow significantly as the AI industry progresses towards widespread adoption. Let's get ahead of it. Number two, since AI is still relatively new technology, our survey respondents had plenty of concerns. So companies are excited about what this technology can do, but they're also remaining cautiously optimistic. Number three, we talked about candidates and hiring teams have different views. We talked about, I might feel good as a job poster, but maybe I'm nervous if these folks are using AI to build all of their collateral, like the cover letter, the resume, and writing examples. So while hiring professionals are embracing AI to gain efficiency, candidates are a little bit more skeptical about using it when it comes to the hiring decisions, but they're open to using it when it benefits them. Number four, we talked about just a second ago, AI is poised to transform teams. It's not going to be taking out those jobs, but it's widely expected that HR teams will become more specialized, more streamlined when it comes to those roles. So, key takeaway from today, no matter how amazing AI is, never forget to trust your instincts, trust that gut feeling that's got us this far, and it's the human element that drives the success of AI. All right, and so this is how a career builder can help when it comes to AI. So because our AI technology streamlines time-consuming tasks like reviewing resumes, scheduling interviews, it allows more time for meaningful candidate engagement. So we offer solutions like hiring events that promote authentic human connections. Our products have sophisticated built-in AI technology, like AI matching, job description assistance covered within hiring. I think it's really cool. If you have somebody that's looking for a job, they can go to careerbuilder.com and they can build an AI built resume on their smartphone and apply in less than 3 minutes. When I applied to jobs back in the day, it could take 2 hours. Our platform offers detailed data and insights so you can continuously monitor the candidate funnel and proactively address any concerns you may have. So our customers have access to analytics dashboards, exclusive market reports, to help enhance the candidate experience end to end. And we're working behind the scenes. If you're nervous about AI, we have been dabbling in this for a while now. So our AI technology is compliant and follows best practices. Our team is here to help you harness these solutions confidently, providing training and on-demand support. And I'll be the person that can train you if you were to decide to come over to CareerBuilder. And if you're a current customer, I'd love to see more of you and train you every week with those 6 webinars. And beyond AI technology, we offer employer opportunities like diversity sponsorships. I wish you could see the incredible stats behind the scenes. We have customers that purchase these, get so much traffic, they keep coming back because it works. You could be right there on the front page of careerbuilder.com and help out a great cause as well. All right, so shameless plug time about CareerBuilder. So we've been giving people the tools they need to find personal success for 25 plus years. So from hundreds of thousands of employers seeking great talent to the millions of job seekers out there looking for the right opportunities. We understand the needs of companies, big and small, when it comes to finding and hiring talent. So did you know that CareerBuilder was one of the first employment solutions to leverage AI technology? It's built upon many years of job history, trends, and data. Our powerful AI tools evaluate the hiring experience for both employers and job seekers. So whether that's resume writing assistance, skills matching, job description search and match, we can be a one-stop shop for you. Perfect. Well, everybody, thank you so much, Kristen. Thank you for being the greatest co-host with the most. I loved practicing this earlier this week, crushing it today with you. It's always wonderful to work with you. So thank you, everybody, for
Same.
attending. We really appreciate your time. There's been so much excitement around this session. I think it shows with the amount of attendance, and we had over 1,000 people registered for this. So we're going to be following up with a recording that we'll share with all of attendees from today, as well as show you where you can access the full white paper and study from Morning Consult. So everybody, thanks again for joining us today. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your day, wonderful week, fantastic weekend. And thank you so much for your interest in all things AI and all things CareerBuilder.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, perfect. Take care, everybody.